Hello and welcome back. Oh, yeah, you don't like it when I do.
No, it's alright. I was okay.
All right.
Yeah, that was.
Yay!
That's not
I'm gonna
bad.
Because jingle, it's the Christmas one. Even though, right? Okay, so basically,
You've not introduced us. Let's just say hi.
okay. Hello, welcome back to Tripod Talk, where we talk anything and everything about films. My name is Matt Lidster. I am your host. I am joined together by. He doesn't even know his name. It's
Alright,
Dylan Watt to my
speak.
left and
Sophie Ellis.
Sophie Ellis to my right. We are
And
Tripod Talk and.
The audience, because you keep staring at the microphone.
Oh, well, you know, that's just what I do. And today we're talking about Star Wars.
Star Wars. What's the actual film called?
Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Jedi.
But yeah, quick note, as you pointed out before, we missed a podcast because for some reason I have no idea why. We pressed record, we did a whole podcast, and then a couple of days later I went to edit it and it was gone.
Industrial sabotage. That's what my money's on.
Yep.
It was
So
our Christmas special,
The
wasn't it?
competitors.
it was. We talked about the night before. It was a good film. Yeah.
We also missed out because we had a draft and we just put a trio together, didn't we?
Ah, yeah, we did.
Yeah. That was a good draft. Just shoving 3 characters together on a night out.
Yeah.
Oh well, we know how it went, kind of.
I mean,
Yeah.
all of us have forgotten our own
it
characters.
can't
No,
be
I
that.
remember I remember what I talked about. It was Elf, Bad Santa, and Scrooge.
Oh yeah, because you both stole my characters.
Oh yeah,
last
that's
week.
true actually. I can't remember mine where.
You had Paul, because like
Oh,
halfway
yeah.
through it, Soph was just like, oh god damn.
And JJ Elf on the Lookout
Mm.
and Annie Mackie from Avengers. Alright, I do remember.
Yeah, because I had Mr. Bean in there at some point. Anyway.
But yeah, so that's the reason why we don't have a Christmas one. That's why we missed one last week. And now we're talking about Star Wars: The Last Jedi. We went to go see it in Liverpool. We had a great day. We met a friend of ours.
Yeah.
It was good parking. That was took us half an hour to park.
I slagged off Liverpool all day,
Yeah,
basically for no reason.
yeah,
was a lot of fun.
and yeah.
We can still stick to the fact that whenever we go to a cinema, if it's not high up in like when we go to the lounge and stuff, people still manage to annoy us. Because those kids behind you are so loud.
Top
and
left with
Oh, yeah.
like,
just
pop-
rattling food.
It sounded like there was
entire-
nothing in the bag of popcorn and they just put their arm in there
Yeah.
and just flailed it around for a while.
Yeah.
They dropped like a live fish in the bag of popcorn every 3 minutes. Just slapping weird noises.
But
Yeah.
for once, you didn't look completely annoyed. You were so immersed into the film. with a big
Yeah, it was
grin on
you
your
one,
face.
me two, Matt third.
Yeah.
Matt was in his little happy
Oh yeah,
place.
no, I was in. I was gone. Though I did notice them, and at that point I was just kind of like, please shut the fuck up. But before we get into the Star Wars,
Yes.
which I've seen twice now,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
which the new cinema at Red Rock,
Oh yeah.
really good,
Oh,
nice,
cool.
nice and clean. The only thing was that they've got nice seats, but they're all recliner seats. So like you've got to like prop yourself up, because if you don't prop yourself up with your legs, you just fall and you're just watching the rest of the film just like that. I mean, minus the whole squeakiness of
Yeah.
my chair, but yeah, it was.
Surely there's got to be a way where it's not just you either sat right up or laid back down. That can't
Well,
be
it's
right.
all involved in the leg power, to be honest.
The film's overly complicated for a cinema. Are you sure there isn't just like a lever that you've
I
got
feel
to
like
click
there's
in or something?
100% was.
Well, I mean, we can go and see a
Let's call
film
the
together.
customer service team now.
My dad fell asleep. That
Oh,
was
did
it.
he?
Yeah.
Lay back.
He did as well.
Bless
I had
him.
to nudge him. He was just like, hmm? And then he just gave me like a sly look. He was like, yeah, you know what I did. It's fine. But first, let's talk about some film news, shall we?
Film news.
Film news. Film news. Something with I don't know if I've said it to you or not. I can't remember, but we got to bring it up because we've not actually said it in film news yet.
Film news.
Disney buying Fox.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it might be in the last episode that one. I think we talked about it as a potential happening a couple of weeks
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, we probably did.
Shit, it's happening.
Yeah, it's happening. Even though it's already late, never mind. I'm sorry, but Disney bought Fox for and all their media rights for about 66 billion,
Mm-hmm.
which is mental.
It is insane.
So why is it owned by Disney now?
I don't actually know.
I'm not.
I
Only that the rest of the world.
want to be. Did you know the deal also included? There was something else in here. Sorry. Also included a controlling stake in Sky.
Mm.
No idea.
Yeah. amongst.
Seems like they actually got quite a lot for 66 billion or whatever it was.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm not going to say they got them like it was good value for money, but because that's way too big a scale for me to know. But they have got the fingers in a lot of pies right now.
Do you know the main reason why they actually bought it, as well as like buying everything else? What they're trying to get themselves into?
No.
The online streaming service.
Twitch type thing, or like
not like
a
Netflix.
Oh, yeah, I remember reading about that.
Yeah.
Like a Disney database type.
Pretty much, and now they've got the rights to like all the Marvel stuff. Like I know Marvel have like a deal with Netflix as well, but they could certainly bring that over with it, as well as all the Star Wars TV series and stuff like that as well. They've got all the Disney films, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So and all the Fox shows as well. So you know stuff like New Girl. I know there was a couple of other big ones as well, but they all have the rights to kind of go on that streaming service.
Avatar and stuff, wasn't there?
The what, sorry?
Avatar.
Yeah, Avatar was bought by them as well. So
there's a lot of people in that marketplace though. So, but Disney is a big player. Like they're a big fish. I can't see them overtaking Netflix, but
certainly give it a good go if they've got the content.
Prime run for the money.
Yeah, they're pretty much the two biggest ones. But if you think that's the only place where something like a big Star Wars series is going to be, a lot of people will buy it straight away.
Plus, with it being Disney, like you could pivot, you could have it like marketed as like all the Disney stuff for your kids, so then like you get parents on, and then they've also got the like. There's a lot of different ways they can try and market it, so I can see it working. I don't see it taking over Netflix, but I see it being like it could easily take second in the market.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that should be coming around not next year, year after, 2019. So that'll be interesting. More thing. I don't. This is more kind of for you. It's something I was talking about you before the film. You know, in year 8 English class.
Okay.
Just for people that didn't know, me and Adele both went to the same school.
Yeah.
But
yeah, of course. Sorry, I wondered why that would involve Dill.
Not
did
just
you?
The people in the people in this room need to know.
I know. Yeah. Did you go through a book called Mortal Engines? Or if you don't remember the name of it, it was a book about cities that used to roam around the earth.
See, this is strange. I didn't. I was talking to my friend who read the book as a kid, though, and he said it was an amazing book. We didn't do anything at school. The first thing I heard about it was, I think I saw the trailer for it before watching another film. I think it looked cool.
Yeah, well, I know that we did that in year 8, or at least we just kind of read it as like an extra hobby thing. I don't know, but
did it make an impression on you then?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good story. Like interesting characters, the way that the whole world worked as well. And
did
now
it occur to you that it would make a good film at any point? Do you reckon?
I wasn't really into films as much back then, so it's been kind of put to the back of my mind. But its trailer just came out.
Yeah.
You said you just seen it. I just showed it to you before.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about this.
It looked alright, but as someone obviously that didn't read the book or know that much about it, I was just a bit like, because she just looked like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
So I was just a bit.
I mean, I won't spoil it for anyone who's seen it, but there's a reason why she's got a scarf around her face.
It seems a bit like a throwback to those. Remember when IMAX first came out and they were just making big, dramatic metal movies that would look cool? It's got a bit of a feel like that to me, but I do think it could be a good film.
I'll just read what the thing said online. It often seems like London is glowering. I don't know how to say it. Good God, I don't know what happened to my English there. I'm sorry. Predator intent on devouring us all, but in Christian Rivers' Mortal Engines, that's no longer a metaphor. Based on Philip Reeve's novel, Mortal Engines centres around a dystopian future where sprawling metropolises thunder around on giant wheels, gobbling up smaller townships for resources. Something known as municipal Darwinism, produced by Peter Jackson. The Mortal Engine stars Hera Hilmar, Robert Sheehan, and both Hugo Weaving and Stephen Lang as the film's villains. And the film will hit UK cinemas a year from now, or not exactly, but 14th of December 2018.
I was just saying about Robert Sheehan. Did you watch the original series of Misfits? The
Yes.
UK one?
He was amazing.
I was talking to someone about him the other day, and I was like, what happened to that guy? Because he was really good, and I'm surprised he's not been in anything. But
that's the whole reason I've told you to watch Misfits, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad he's in something big, because I think he's got like good actor kind of aura about him.
He's very underrated. I think he's been in Fargo recently as well.
Which is
Like-
which has done a really good job of casting, just to pivot from the movie talk to TV talk.
Yeah. Other films.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite an interesting way of doing it as well. First Ocean's 8 trailer has arrived.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is?
No.
Remember Ocean's 11 and 12 and 13 where it was like the group of guys?
Brad Pitt, George Clooney did like bank jobs and stuff. It was just a bunch
Heard
of
of
like
Ocean
cool
11.
dudes in suits.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, it's basically revolving around guys like stealing stuff from banks and stuff like that.
It would just be
Okay.
very big, dramatic set piece robberies and stuff.
Okay.
So Ocean's 8 is a spin-off, and it's all women.
Ooh.
So it's kind of going a bit like down the Ghostbusters route, just kind of taking a big franchise and spinning it off to do something else.
That's awful. But
You want to give it a shot.
yeah.
But yeah, it follows Danny Ocean's sister, Debbie, Sandra Bullock.
Yes.
Debbie?
Yes, Sandra Bullock. Totally on board.
Seriously though,
Debbie
Debbie is your
Ocean.
protact in like a cool.
Debbie.
Debbie,
I'm so
do you see what I mean?
excited.
Yeah.
Who else is in it?
Oh, it's a bit divisive at that point. Gets out of prison, starts to plan a heist involving a priceless necklace and the prestigious Met Gala in New York. The team she puts together includes Lou, Kate Blanchett,
Yes.
Nine Ball, Rihanna.
No.
Oh no.
That's where I thought it went a bit west.
What's that?
But Amita, Mindy Kaling.
Nah, she annoys me.
Oh yeah.
Right before though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Constance Aquafina.
Who?
Well, I don't know either.
Aquafina.
Yeah.
Drink brand. You sure you're not looking at that?
No.
no, look at
Yeah.
that. Aquafina, that's so weird.
Yeah, Rose, Helena Bonham Carter,
Yes.
Daphne Kluger, Anne Hathaway, and Tammy, Sarah Paulson.
I
Sarah
love
Paulson.
Sarah Paulson.
Yeah. Have you seen Blue Jay?
No.
That's a film that she's in. That's really, really good. Her and Mark Duplass. It's like shot for no money. It's like
Right.
they were together in like high school. They both come back to the city for different reasons and kind of spend a weekend together.
Oh.
Just hanging out, even though she's married and stuff. But it's a really good film. That
Oh, cool.
Black and white.
I don't really know what she's been in, but
I don't
People know her for American Horror Story, but you didn't really get into it.
okay.
The
She
problem
is
with that
awesome.
Ocean's 8 is just like so what's going to happen around that film is going to be the same that happens with all of these all-female ones, and it just, I don't think it helps in the long run moving forward, because then the films are sometimes bad, then people say that they're bad because they're all female, or people are afraid to say they're bad because they're all female,
Yeah.
and then they're worried about even having a dialogue, which just makes people more annoyed at them happening, and it's just like, it's such a, I just think it's the worst way that Hollywood could possibly try and like improve the whole gender inequity.
Yeah, because I think if they had like original stuff to go off, like for example Bridesmaids, that was a cult classic, and that like propelled all the like careers of the women in that film,
Yeah.
and they became like Hollywood stars from that, and like whereas before they weren't really as well known. But with stuff like this, it doesn't seem to be kind of, it's just like, oh, a male ensemble cast in this film will just take this idea and put it, give it to women. And it's just like, why don't you just give them original stuff to do and make a name for themselves rather than going off a series that's already been established as something else?
Why is Rihanna in it?
I have no idea.
She's money.
She's ridiculous.
I mean like box office. I don't mean like that sounded very like Floyd Mayweather. I just meant she's like, practically speaking, they're thinking studio, we need to make our money back. There's 100 million in like 16-year-old girls who will go and watch a film with Rihanna in it.
But that blows my mind though. Just like go and see her in a concert or buy her makeup. You know what I mean?
Because then you see her in that, you're supporting her, and then it's like, Rihanna's so talented, she can act. No, she can't, but she can act.
Yeah, it's bringing fans
yeah.
over from one thing to another.
And then you're like, oh, Rihanna's in this film, we've got to go see it, blah, blah,
Do
blah.
you think that's why Harry Styles was put in Dunkirk then? Like that
I
kind
actually
of-
don't believe so.
I don't think it was either. Just
No.
mainly because Nolan's such a, like perfectionist in everything that he does. He would have he wouldn't have just been like, yeah, we'll put him in to make. Yeah, he specifically wanted to make that story.
It wasn't promoted
I was
either.
going to say
was
also
it?
the marketing,
Yeah.
like it wasn't like Dunkirk, Harry Styles, it was a debut
Yeah.
picture. It's just like,
Yeah.
Dunkirk, Harry Styles in it. I didn't really know who Harry Styles was, so to me it was just, he didn't stick out. So
You
he
know
did his
who
job.
he is.
he's
You
got,
have
like,
his
curly hair,
posters
right?
in
Yeah.
your wall.
Nah,
In your
Harry
In
Styles.
the wall.
If I was on posters
In the
of a
wall.
dude, I'd pull off better than Harry style.
All right, if you could have
Child.
posters of a guy
It'll be
in
Ryan
your room,
Reynolds.
who would it be?
Won't be Ryan Reynolds.
Will it not?
Nah. This
Oh,
is a
no.
difficult one. Might be Aaron Rodgers, which doesn't make sense to any of you. Does it have to be an actor?
No, anyone.
Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback, plays American football.
Ah, yeah.
It's cool
That
as
came
fuck.
to you way too quick.
It's cool as fuck. Just the way he walks around. If anyone who knows who it is, they'll be agreeing with me so hard right now.
Why would yours be then?
Robert Downey Jr.
Would it?
Yeah. Just with a quote on the wall saying, "You go, kid," because like,
You
then
see
I can
Kiss
just
Kiss
do
Bang
anything.
Bang? I don't like that title.
No.
What we were going from. It's a film Robert Downey Jr.'s in. It's
Yeah.
a Shane Black film. The guy who directed Iron Man 3. And there's an amazing scene in that where, so in the real life in the film, Robert Downey Jr.'s just been doing a robbery, and I think with his mate, well, with his bank robber friend, they get caught. His mate, the bank robber gets shot, and Downey Jr. leaves him behind.
Okay.
Runs up a staircase into this room, and just like starts like what the fuck's going on? And it's actually an audition room, so there's like 2 casting agents sat there, and they give him like a piece of paper, and they're like, read through this, and the script like aligns exactly with how he's feeling. So at the start he's just like, what do you do? What? And then like he starts actually reading it, and it's about like the situation is they've robbed a bank, the guy's been shot, and he's having like a breakdown emotionally.
Yeah.
And he's just incredible in that scene because he starts with not getting what's going on, and then he goes like legitimate emotion really, really quick, really well. And it's just so well done. So that's like a 2-minute clip there. That's worth watching.
All right.
Dunno.
Speaking of more 2-minute clips,
Yeah.
aha. Last bit of film news from me. Trailer indeed. We all saw it. The first trailer online for Alita: Battle Angel.
Yes.
The manga and anime versions of Battle Angel Alita are established classics, but the live-action film version has been a long time coming, with James Cameron this close. That's what it says. I'm sorry. To making it most of the last 20 years, as he got stuck with the Avatar sequels, he handed the job to Robert Rodriguez. Rosa Salazar, apparently she's been in Maze Runner and Insurgent, takes the lead as the manga-eyed Alita, cyborg found in pieces in a scrap heap by Dyson Ida, which is Christoph Waltz's character, who takes her home and restores her to cyber health. Okay. But their town of Iron City, that sounds kind of cool,
It does.
is a violent place filled with hunted warriors like Ed Skrine's Zapan, and subject to the whims of wealthy city of Salem. That floats above. Alright, that sounds a bit wacky. But yeah, anime coming to the screen. And the main thing that got me was if it's just like, if it is her body and she's acting on it, and then, because I couldn't tell at first whether the actual, the whole character's CGI.
Yeah.
Because the CGI is very good. But then whether they've just kind of CGI'd her face, because the eyes,
Yeah.
if anyone's seen the trailer, the eyes are anime eyes.
Yeah.
Which really took me aback. I was like, oh.
Yeah. It made me feel. I just felt weird about it.
But it's uncomfortable to see, but I'm glad that they've kind of kept it.
Well, it's almost
As
done
well.
too well, so it's like those could just be her normal eyes, and she could just have kind of weirdly big eyes, and it just kind of throws you off the whole time. The first half of the trailer, I was just like, does she just like, is this just really convenient casting, and she's just got the weirdest human? And then I was like, no, it can't be.
The thing that throws me off more is the fact that she's the only, like, because it's based off an anime, so obviously all the other characters would have anime eyes, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but she's the only one.
But she's the only one with the anime eyes. I mean, they're still very well done, and it kind of intrigues me to see it just because it's that well done, you know, such as a technical masterpiece. Don't know if it's going to be that yet, because just the way she kind of tumbled down as well, and the camera was looking up at her, whether that's actually her or whether it is CGI.
I feel like it's CGI.
Yeah.
But I think more people will enjoy it that have seen the actual manga.
I mean, tell that to people who saw Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
No, but I mean in regards to the fact that her eyes are bigger and stuff, that could be something that's played out within the actual anime that we don't know about. You know, that she might have slightly bigger eyes than everyone else in the thing. We don't really know.
To be fair, like when I thought by now CGI would be like consistently really good, like unnoticeable, but stuff still comes out like now, like even like kind of a segue. Even with Star Wars, there was a bunch of CGI in it that was super, or like
Yeah, there was.
like effects that was super noticeable and like took me out of the film immediately.
Really?
Yeah.
Which bit?
So there was a couple of times where like they were flying and like we said at the end maybe they've gone back to puppetry or like wires or something, but it just the way that they do.
Oh, is
people
this like
were
a
moving
spoiler
in
of
the
it?
air. No, just someone was flying in the air,
Oh, okay.
but
Star Wars.
just the way they were moved through the air just didn't seem right.
I
Yeah.
know what you mean. Okay, yeah. So that's a nice little segue. Shall we go on to?
Do you have film news?
It's not film news. I was just going to say as a suggestion for the future. Have you seen the trailers for the new Insidious?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh my god!
I
You
liked all
probably
the
haven't seen
Insidious
it.
films.
No.
They're actually some of the few horror films I've actually really enjoyed. Insidious.
Really?
They are good. I cried at the last one, but
Cried out of what?
was it the last one or the second one? It's,
Pity.
no, it was
Hunger.
that's just you.
someone died in it,
Oh, okay.
and the older woman was upset, and that's just anyway.
Oh, right,
The
yeah, I remember
trailer,
what you're talking about. Okay.
yeah, but the trailer's out, and she's back in it, and it's back in one of the original houses, but it does look really good. And even the trailer, I was watching it on headphones, that shit me up. Like I jumped. So
It's
I'm looking
genuinely
forward
scary.
to-
It's probably like in terms of horror films that I've ever watched, probably the one that scared me the most were Insidious.
yeah,
Like they're really good films. So maybe we'll do something for those.
Nah, you're alright.
100%. Come on.
I ain't going
It's
to a
It's
cinema
gonna be
to
the
watch it.
last one,
I don't care.
mate. Chill.
We'll do what we're gonna do a one-off map this episode. to watch Insidious. No, it's okay.
You
Right,
can
we'll
bring
talk-
on a special
I really
guest.
Special
want
guest,
to
who?
watch. Yeah, who?
I'll tweet Patrick Wilson.
Of all the people. Oh wait, he's in
'Cause he's the
Insidious.
lead.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
But like, I do want to go in the cinema and watch that because I haven't seen the others.
I've
in the
never watched a
cinema.
horror film in the cinema. I don't think. Not a proper
I
one.
have it.
Does that count?
No, definitely not.
But anyway, yeah. We'll go
Yeah,
back to the segue,
doing
Matt.
that. Yeah, let's go. I'll let you do that.
So the film.
Mhm.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Well, first off, the personal opinion really matters. What did your dad think of it?
My dad thought it was really good.
Oh.
Despite falling asleep.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, that's
dad.
just my dad. But
How much did he miss? Like a minute or two, or like?
yeah, literally like 20 seconds. But
From the time when Ray came on screen
Yeah.
to the credits.
no, I was a bit reserved about it because he said that he didn't like Force Awakens that much, and I was like, oh, okay, because he said it was just kind of a little bit too similar to everything else. So I was like, okay, that's fair
Yeah.
enough. I can kind of see why you think that. So when it kind of came out that this was a bit divisive as well, and like, because I know you were a little bit kind of on it, and yeah, specifically just like that. So I thought he wouldn't really be up for it, or at least if he watched it, that he wouldn't really like it at all. But no, he was really taken with it.
That's good.
So yeah, I mean, it gets a thumbs up from my dad, so it's already got 3 stars.
Oh god, the 5-star film. Really.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird.
But yeah, what was the story, Dill?
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is the one. Any film we watched in our own time I could have done, but this is alright, fine. So what happens? It starts with.
Okay, just for everyone who's not seen it as well, spoiler alert.
Yeah. Well, in fact,
'Cause-
we won't even. We'll do a spoiler free one.
Okay, we'll just.
No, I'm joking. I just want to go through it. I don't
Oh, we
remember
could
what
go
happens.
spoiler free first and just say
There's
what we
some
thought
weird
about it, but
What?
go spoiler free first and say what we thought about it, and then go into
I feel
spoilers.
like if we're gonna actually review it, that it shouldn't be me or Dill explaining the storyline
Yeah,
because it's
'cause-
not really a fair review. Because we're like, some weird shit happened, and then Ray was there, and then there's the Chinese.
You're saving
guy.
a
She's
Dill
speaking
right
straight
now.
from my mind right now.
So how about you explain it since you're the big
I can't
Star
remember how
Wars
it
fan?
starts.
Okay.
No idea.
I do, don't worry. To be
You've seen
fair.
it twice.
Yeah.
There
haven't
was a
you?
scroll thing with words. Then I
Yeah,
thought-
that thing.
From that, I don't remember.
That shit me up.
Yeah.
That. They went, "Duh," I was like, fucking hell.
That's the first time we've seen a Star Wars film in cinema, wasn't it?
It's only the 3rd Star Wars film I've seen, so
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot it was a thing.
I have seen them all multiple times, but I was just
Yeah.
like, meh.
But yeah, okay, so this picks up, I'm not sure what the time gap is between Force Awakens and this film, but the rebellion has picked up a bit of speed, and they've gone in for the kill on the Empire, who's basically, well, they're trying to get them, and so Poe Dameron leads an assault on the Dreadnought,
Oh, yes.
which is successful, but there's like quite a few casualties, and they get away. But the only problem is throughout the whole, it's the theme throughout the whole film that the Empire knows how to track them through light speed, which is impossible. So they're wondering how they can do that. So basically, it's a big chase film essentially. It's a bit like Mad Max, and it's just like a massive chase sequence. But whilst they do this, Rey is trying to seek help from Luke Skywalker. He's trying to get him to train her, but he says no initially. What else is happening at the same time? Rey. No, I just said Rey.
Finn. Little Chinese girl.
Rose. Finn and Rose try to help the rebellion by finding a code breaker to get into the main ship because they found out that how the First Order is tracking them through hyperspace.
Yes.
So they hatch a plan to find someone to help break into the ship to then get this code scrambled so that they can get away safely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming around again. Poe Dameron is seeking a mutiny in the rebellion as they're not really doing that much. Rey finally does get a bit of help from Luke, but then she's kind of seduced to the dark side by Kylo, because Kylo doesn't know his place in the world, especially after just killing his dad. Spoiler alert! And he's a bit conflicted. So they start talking through the use of the Force, which is interesting to say the least.
That's
Hashtag high waist belt. No, high waist belt, high waist pants.
Oh yeah. Do you know when he's got no top on and he's wearing like...
I didn't notice that he was wearing high pants.
They were pretty high.
Yeah, pretty high.
Like a foot below nip.
Oh, was it? So I heard a woman laughing behind us, and I was like, why is she laughing? I don't understand what's... Okay, carry on.
So, because the whole film is basically like these three different stories kind of coming together, which I thought was quite nice. I don't know if anyone else did, but yeah.
It kept it moving, to be fair. It didn't get... There wasn't much, like, time to get bored, because more stuff was happening quite quick.
Yeah, there's only a few things about it. You're not done explaining, are you?
No.
Alright, you carry on then.
Okay. Without spoiling anything specifically now, or do you want to say all the
You
spoilers?
can spoil it, yeah, screw it.
Okay. So Rey.
This podcast is you just saying what the story is.
Yeah, no, it is basically Rey, Kylo go and confront Snoke. Kylo turns on Snoke, kills him. I was like, what? Because I didn't see that coming. But anyway, that was fun. And then they have an awesome sequence with all the red guards that are around them, which we'll get onto later on. Rey, no, not Rey. Bloody, I keep saying Rey and Finn. It's not Finn. Finn and Rose, they are unsuccessful at first, trying to scramble the codes. So then the First Order, after the rebellion, basically get away by kind of playing a bit of a chess game, essentially saying that they've got a planet to go to because there's one nearby. The First Order starts shooting at them, even though they thought they were safe. So a lot of people die. Things blow up. We are watching the same film, aren't we?
Yeah, I've lost track of what part you're up. Like.
Do you know when there's all the little escape pods and they do blow them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I forgot her name. Is it Holdo? Yeah, Holdo turns around the big freight ship and goes hyperspace straight through the Snoke's ship, which was amazing. Yeah, I don't get how that bit worked.
No idea. And also, alright, fine, continue.
I thought it was a cool sound effect though, to be fair, just like silence and then like...
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. And, so then everything starts to blow up. Kylo and Rey have a bit of a falling out over the... I mean, it's a bit of an understatement. So Rey manages to scarper away. Finn and Rose... Oh, Finn takes on Phasma, which was a nice little bit of payoff from the last film.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When you get to see Gwendolyn Christie's eye underneath that...
Go on,
underneath that armour, and then she, spoiler alert, falls to her death. Although it's not... She don't know if she's definitely dead or not. And then they all get to this planet. Kylo Ren forces an attack on this place. They've got no way in or out. The rebels try to mount an attack against them. It fails, and then Luke Skywalker turns up. saves the day. Everyone else escapes, and then Luke dies.
Cool. Well, before my phone dies, I want to tell you a couple of things that I found out about the film.
Cool.
I feel like I fucked that up.
It's fine.
That's cool.
You did it a lot better than we could together, so.
I mean, should we tell people the plot?
I was thinking that when you were doing it, but it's fine. We can have a longer discussion about it.
I guess people are up to date. There we go. Never mind.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll drop
It's told now.
plot points at some point. But anyway.
Just quick, I suppose it would have gone with the film news, but it's more towards this. Oscar Isaac is set to take on the role of Gomez in the new movie, The Addams Family, as well.
Ah.
Yeah.
Is Gomez the man?
Just reminded me because he said,
No, he's not.
I bet it's Pod. That's, isn't it?
Poe.
Poe.
Pod.
The bloody hell is Pod.
Anyway.
For Pod's from Game of Thrones.
Hey, with Gwendolyn Christie. Go on.
Go.
Links.
Boom.
One thing I wanted to talk about was the fact, you know, when Rose randomly kissed Finn,
Yeah.
like that weird little awkward, they had to put it in there. Why couldn't she have just
She
like...
had like the whole time though that she was doing like a whole like obsessed with him type thing. It didn't feel necessary, and it was a bit dismissive of. It was a bit, I don't know. Was it meant to be like a big moment for her? So they were trying to do something nice for
Probably.
it. Because I think it was written out of something, doing something good for the character. Like she built a personality up, and she did something that she wouldn't be brave enough to do if she wasn't immediately about to die. Like she got a kiss before she dies.
Well, she's still alive.
Is she?
Yeah, she is now,
Yeah.
because they
Oh,
brought her
I
back
was fine with
through,
her
but
dying.
it was, so was I.
See, I would have thought the kiss would have been more suitable for that specific bit if she had died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she didn't. So it was
really
just
awkward
such a
when she
low
wakes
key. Hey,
I
it
think
wasn't needed.
Yeah.
And it was such a low key kiss. You know, it was literally just like a peck.
I reckon it's to address the whole. Do you remember when the last one came out? There was a load of shit about Ray putting Thingy in the Finn in the friend zone and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
There was like a big internet thing and like why aren't those two getting together type thing. So I guess this way they close off those arguments by throwing this girl at Finn, and then at least Ray can do her own shit. And
Yeah, that makes
no one's
sense,
going to be like,
probably.
why won't Ray and Finn get together? Ray and
There's,
Finn, Ray
yeah,
and Finn,
there's
Ray
some
Finn,
backlash
whatever they
about
call
that. Oh, Ray Finn.
it. I don't know.
what about
That's
a
what I
Finn
think.
Ray?
The Finn Ray's actually kind of cool.
But the one thing I was asking you was because it says here, one major plot point is the fact that the First Order can track resistance ships while they're in hyperspace without the aid of a tracking beacon. This is treated as a new occurrence but completely ignores what was established in Rogue One, a Star Wars story. In Rogue One, Tantive 4? Tantive 4. Jumps into hyperspace, leaving Darth Vader behind. Vader then presumably returned to his Star Destroyer before resuming this chase. Since Vader ambushed Tantive 4 over Tatooine in Star Wars A New Hope, it's clear that he tracked the ship through hyperspace.
So it does make sense with the storyline, just people think it don't. Is that what that's saying?
It's saying that they're acting as if they've never seen
Yeah,
something
but
travel
it does
through
make
it,
sense
but
with
it's
the Star
already...
Wars universe thing.
It's not a new thing, it's already happened.
Yeah. Maybe they were just kind of... In that situation, you just kind of think, okay, I'm in war. They're now following me from there. Although from that point, the Imperial starship could have already been over Tatooine, but you'd think why? I don't know.
And then the last thing that stuck out to me was, I think her name was Paige, when she fell and she had to press that trigger and it was falling past her.
Who's Paige?
Oh yeah, her sister, Rose's sister.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
right at the
yeah,
beginning
yeah,
of the film
Like
with
she
the
was
bombs.
down and then it's coming down and she had to press it and somehow she turned on her stomach within like a millisecond.
Mm-hmm.
That pissed me off. There was no way she could have turned it that quick because it was falling. There's no way she would have got that to lie on her stomach and hold it. Bullshit.
Yeah, I think that was just a mismatch of editing.
Yeah, I was
if
going to say, I
anything.
think it was like more the shots.
There is quite a lot of like messed up, like in shots he'll be holding the lightsaber in one hand or he'll have a clenched fist or
Oh, really? I didn't notice that.
yeah, like when
And usually I notice that kind of stuff.
I know there's a thing where Finn, when he's packing his bags and he's ready to do one when Rose captures him,
Mm-hmm.
like
Oh,
he
yeah.
puts his bag in front of the pod. No, he puts it in the pod.
Yeah.
But then in the next shot when she tases him, it's outside the pod and she
Ah.
grabs it and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But you would have thought with it being such a big thing that they'd look over stuff like that still. But I suppose you can't get everything.
I mean, sometimes with these films, they're like editing them like a week or two before the release date. So
Yeah, true.
I think people think they're a bit more organised than they actually are, just because there's so much money in them.
Yeah.
But they do get done to the wire as much as like a university assignment.
That, and you wouldn't think that people would sit there and just stare at like every little bit of the film, but people do.
I do. But just before we go into more stuff,
Yes.
what did you think of the film overall?
I can never really tell walking out of a film. I feel. I think I've kind of settled on like it was fine with it. Can't imagine I'm not that excited to revisit it.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm not that excited to kind of go back to it, or I didn't. There was a lot of little bits of it that just annoyed me, and I felt it was getting pretty predictable by the end. With the safest way to make these films is just to make them Star Wars nostalgia. But when you just do nostalgia and follow the storylines of old ones, we can see when you twists are coming and the way the storyline's kind of going to play out quite a few times. So I could feel where it was going ahead of time quite often, and it just threw me out of it.
So?
See, I liked it. The only, like, so I have seen a lot of the other Star Wars films, and I really like Force Awakens, just simply because I love Rey. So she carried the entire thing for me.
I thought Rey was horrible on this one. I thought some of her dialogue was friggin' terrible. When she was talking to Luke, I was just not believing anything she said. I just really, I'd never bought into Rey in this one for some reason. She just didn't seem real.
I can see what you mean with some certain lines of dialogue, especially with Luke. But no, I still quite believe that character. But
I just like her anyway. But these, when Yoda came into it, didn't care, took me out of the film completely.
Oh,
but obviously I wouldn't really relate
for
to
me, that was such a massive payoff. It was, like, for me, that was such a heartwarming,
I saw the
absolute
smoke on your
magical
face.
moment. Genuinely quite magical moment for me. And it was. Because it's like, just bringing that lore. Because, like, there was no mention of it. There was no sort of, rumour about it as well. And to be taken, it was such a surprise, especially in that situation as well. I mean, you could, like you say with certain Star Wars conventions, you could probably see that someone might come back at that point. Yeah. But I think I was just so involved in that story at that one point where it actually came out. I was like, yeah! I was very happy at that point. And they also went back to the puppetry, which was a nice callback to kind of literally say, let's just leave the prequels alone, and that they went, even in this day and age where they CGI everything, they still went back to puppetry. For someone, for a character that is, so well renowned to be, that specific form.
See, I think it just must be me because I don't like really iconic characters in Star Wars. Chewbacca really pisses. I was counting on Chewbacca dying at some point through this film. I thought Carrie Fisher's character, Leia.
She remembers
I
them.
thought they were going to kill her off. Oh my god. I thought they were going to kill her off just because of, obviously, her passing away. But completely.
Yeah, I must admit, I thought they were, because they had several times to do it in the film as well, where it would have been quite.
When she was being pulled off.
Oh, right, hey up.
Yeah, she randomly. There's a lot of weird things that aren't really explained. Like, why did all the fleet break? Why does she just float? Like, is she using the?
She's using the Force at that point.
She's using the Force.
Yeah.
That's so not really
stupid.
Yeah. Why is that suddenly happening? Like, obviously, has there been like glimpses of her doing stuff before?
In the original stuff, yeah.
Little glimpses, but all of a sudden she could just fly through space in Britain. It's just not really.
I must admit, it seemed like a bit of a silly image to kind of see that. When everything else
built up like she was going to die. That would have been such a nice way to... Because they had so many points where... They had so many points where they'd be like, when they kissed her on the forehead and made such a big thing about her. I thought, this is such a nice tribute to send her off.
See, I thought that she was going to stay behind on the ship.
And
then if she'd self-sacrificed herself that way, especially after her saying that she was so tired with everything.
Films, by the way. I know for this one that she had to fly through the fleet and whatever. But when in films, there's always this, last person needs to sacrifice themselves thing. Like, I guess it's cool, it's impressive to have a character sacrifice himself. It shows that they're ultimately a good person, if you've got any doubt. But like, there's the least bit of effort put into making a read. She's like, oh, I've got to stay back to direct. Like, why can't the ship just stay on autopilot in this situation? Why does someone have to be there to do something if you're just going to let it get blown up?
To be fair, yeah, I didn't understand that point because it's like everyone could have made it from there.
It's one of those, it's kind of like a horror, it's almost like horror trope thing to me, but it's just like, put some effort in. If you want to use these tropes, put some effort into setting them up so it's actually part of the storyline.
Yeah.
Don't just be like, oh, I've got to stay because this is going to fix the plot in a couple minutes, or going to make me clearly a good person.
There was a thing that I did read. I can't remember what they're called.
Bloody hell, you read.
Right. Any. You know the pogs, the things that look like thing from Madagascar that was screeching and.
I loved them.
Yeah, they were adorable. It turns out that they were actually like birds in real life, and the director and stuff couldn't get rid of them, so they just turned them into these characters.
Yeah.
Which is insane to me, the fact that instead of putting effort in to get rid of them, they just used them in the film, and now because obviously we spoke about when we got out and we thought, oh, they're just adding the cuteness for whatever reason, for merchandise and stuff, but it just seemed like the easiest option for them.
To actually just CGI something in, which they did pretty well, to be fair.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
I read that some people have been got a bit upset or taken out of it because, did you notice there was a few jokes with, like, especially with Admiral Hook, the guy who plays Hooks, Domhnall Gleeson. There was some jokes at weird times in the film, and like I remember like groaning at one of them because it just wasn't okay in the moment. So like the directors talked about like he knows he kind of crowbarred some jokes in even though they didn't kind of fit, and you can see why some people finds it distracting, but overall as part of the film you need to have the tension release a bit, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just with this one that kind of speaks to how much is going on in it, that there was never like an appropriate like ebb in the flow of the film to put a nice little joke in. They just had to dump it in the middle of a battle. Like I'm sure Hooks makes a joke on his death, like on the verge of being murdered, and as he's about to blow up like an entire, like right before a battle, he just cracks a joke, and it's just like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
The one that got me was the really dark one by Chewbacca, when he's eating one of the porgs, and then all the porgs are surrounding him. They're just like, oh, what are you? You know, like with the big eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't remember that happening.
Oh, you know when Chewbacca's eating in the outside the Millennium Falcon, and it was dark.
Yeah, vaguely.
Yeah, well, he was eating it looked like a roast chicken or something.
Oh,
It was actually one of
I
the
didn't really
porgs.
think about the food.
Yeah.
And that's why they were looking at him.
I was
like,
looking at the fire because I remember there was a fire. Wasn't there? I like fire.
But yeah, I wasn't too sure on some of the other creatures. What are they called? Those what are they called? You know, the ice.
The ice critter things.
Yeah.
I'm sure they called them like ice critters or something.
Yeah, because
like that.
Was it you or Tom? One of you was like, ugh, and repeated what they were called. Like,
I think it was me.
Wasn't impressed.
They were called
by it.
ice critters, I think, or something like that.
I think they've got like
crystal critters.
Crystal critters.
I think that's just the name that he specifically gave to them.
It's just like a.
Either way.
What do you think of Snoke? Because I love Andy Serkis, but I thought it was the campest, weirdest, like the bright red crimson. It's like something. Do you know Will Ferrell in Zoolander? It's like if he designed like a villain's room, that would be their costumes and that would be the colour scheme and shit. Like it was just very weird to me.
Yeah, I wasn't
like
too
I'm
sure
not
about
intimidated
that.
by this crumple-headed old man.
It's called a Vulptex, by the way.
That's
The ice.
Well, I guess he referred to it as like I think crystal critter is what he said, and I was
Yeah.
just like, oh fuck that.
I'm trying to think what else there was too.
We found out who Ray's parents and sort of like she was still on this quest.
People weren't happy about that.
No.
See, I thought that was quite refreshing in a sense that
on the whole point of Star Wars, that like the whole
I think
blood thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole point though, because the point of this film is to steer away directly from the whole Skywalker saga thing, and it's just like
universe.
Yeah, it's because all people in the galaxy like have some connection with the Force. It's just more people have this, like some people have more of a connection to it than others, which are trained into.
Mention that was a new direction the film took that I really liked. That they did push a bit more on the Force just as an underlying thing in play in the universe, rather than just like the Jedi's having it.
It's definitely the best explanation of it in the film as well.
Yeah.
It's like from the Phantom Menace, it was like all the Midichlorians and stuff, and it's just like, dude, come on.
Pod racing now.
Pod racing, though, indeed.
Pod racing was in this film, I would have liked it more.
That's what I. You know the
You
horses?
thought pod racing was going to happen, didn't you?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I saw you like jerked around.
I did. I really did.
And I was like,
'Cause
oh, someone died.
You know the bit with the horses and so like I don't know what they were called. I'll find out in a minute. But yeah, I genuinely thought that was pod racing. I was so psyched, but then I got let down. But a couple of good things from me. I just want to point out quickly. I loved the. So I don't think most people did, but I loved the way that they blended the grey area of like just moral stuff. So it wasn't all necessarily good guys versus bad guys. It was just like everyone was in this murky grey area where it was like they had to do certain things to survive. It was like is it Benicio del Toro? Mm-hmm. His character DJ, the one who sold him out.
Yeah.
At the end, it's just like you kind of get his reasoning for why he did it well. So it's like everyone's staying in this because the whole Sith versus there's sort of this Sith versus Jedi stuff, and Kylo, you can see the reason why he's not necessarily a Sith because he did want to be a Jedi, but then situations happen. It's Luke's fault.
See, I think if you were aware of Kylo's motivations, you should have seen what he did to Snoke coming a mile away.
Yeah.
Because it's like he's the power thing is compelling him, but he's still got some good in there. But what's pulling him through is the kind of seeking the power.
Yeah.
So I was like, obviously he's going to take the opportunity to get Snoke the first chance he gets. So he's kind of like, you just have to give him the credit for playing both sides. But then I guess the thing is, it would have worked better if Snoke had been, because I understand that he's the big bad dude who's been running the universe for a long time, but he's never really set up how powerful and kind of like intimidating he is. So you can believe that Kylo outthought him and outmaneuvered him.
Yeah.
Whereas if Snoke had been more effort got into setting him up as this ultimately intelligent, like organ, like on top of everything, then it would have been more of a shock when Kylo killed him because it would have been like, oh shit.
Which is why I thought they'd wait to like kill him off in the third film. So that's why it was such a shock for me when I saw it in this film happen, where I was like, oh, they've done it. Right, okay. Which kind of really intrigues me to see how they're going to do the next one now.
Yeah.
Because, like, with all the other films, you've always got this big baddie who kind of gets killed off or, is dealt with throughout the three films. You know, like, it's like setting them up, showing how bad, like in the first film, showing how bad that they are in the second one, and then everything kind of gets redeemed in the third one. So for this to happen right then, I was like, oh, okay.
It's insane how much they've managed to keep it exactly the same as like the characters. Like there's a more naive one. There's one they go in search of train. Like everything is so kind of like the same type of route with the old ones.
Yeah, considering
like,
they wanted
I like
to move
that
off
for
it.
the nostalgia thing, but it was like I'm not good at jumping ahead in films and guessing what's going to happen usually.
Yeah.
But with this one, there was several occasions where I was like, all right, well, they're obviously. Why, for some reason, how does Finn get all the way back? Like, there's just weird little things that happen. I mean, it was a good film. I don't have a real problem with it, but whenever I end up talking about films like this, it sounds like I hate them.
But overall, I don't think many people thought it was a terrible film. There was one person who had a massive hatred for it.
Yeah.
Online.
One of my mates hates it as well.
Yeah.
It's very diverse thing. I was reading, just this guy. He was talking about that there's an emphasis on female protagonists, saying that Poe was a victim of anti-mansplaining movement. Poe and Luke Skywalker were emasculated in the movie and were therefore in danger of being turned gay. And then
Yeah, exactly.
despite
It's just one not on the internet, right?
You'd think so, but like a lot of people seem to have joined him on it. He admitted he created a load of bots, and the reason Rotten Tomatoes critics think so high but the audience score is so low is because he created bots to give negative comments repeatedly.
Yeah.
And he
It's
was
a lot of energy
talking.
to hate in a film.
What was the thing?
Just don't watch it again, mate.
I
It's fine.
Oh.
No one's going to tie you to a chair and make you watch.
This he says his reasoning.
Yeah, I'm just listening to it.
Regarding female heroes, did you not see everything that came out of Ghostbusters? That's why. I'm sick and tired of men being portrayed as idiots. There was a time we ruled society and I want to see that again. Jesus. And then he talked about voting for Donald Trump and just got really into this weird backlash of he just hated it.
But he sounds like a nutter, because I think this is like, there are normal people who hated it as well.
Yeah.
It's not just totally insane people. Like, it's a good film, but a lot of people felt it was like a bit just like they just weren't that bought into it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just one last thing I want to bring up that I really enjoyed was the way that the lightsabers were used differently, and like how it's because most of the stuff in the prequels you can see it was very choreographed,
Yeah, long.
whereas in these new films it's more kind of like brutish sort of proper going for it
Yeah.
attack styles. And then there was one specific move, like there's a certain way that Rey holds her lightsaber, which is reminiscent to the Force Unleashed film games. Sorry, which was a nice touch. I don't know if they did that on purpose. Yeah, holding it like that. And then there was one where they used the Force and used the Force, and Kylo Ren caught a lightsaber and just went and just went straight through someone's head.
Yeah.
And it's such a
It makes sense as well because they're not officially trained. Like Rey's kind of self-taught-ish. Like Finn grabs it, and when Finn uses one, he's just waving it around like a giant club.
Yeah.
Like, that is actually that was well done. Like that made sense with the characters and just the what the actually kind of lightsaber is. Because it's done as this like it's like in the originals it's like a fencing thing or something. Like it's super precise and whereas with this it's a fucking glowing fire stick that you can cut people in half with. Why is everyone being all prissy and flicking their wrist when you can just smash the shit out of people?
It just keeps falling. I'm sorry, but
Bloody hell.
anything else you guys want to say?
It's not as bad as I'm saying, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
Noticeable good bits that you enjoyed?
Yeah, but I can't think of specific moments now.
Oh, that's good.
Still,
Still?
CG was weird. Noticeable good bits. I like the explanation for the Force. No, that's about it.
Different landscapes that we went to, like different planets that we saw.
So there was the ice one that was kind of reminiscent of the.
I'm not sure whether it was actually
Was it not
ice. It was because it was like some sort of weird salt. That was on
When
the
that guy
floor.
licked it. Salt. That was so weird. I understand why they did it, but I was just like, why the fuck did he just lick his finger after being on the floor?
Yeah, could have been anything.
Yeah. Because it did look like blood, didn't it? So when he did it, he had the intention of tasting blood, surely.
I don't know.
Weird.
You'll have to ask him.
I will.
But also the casino, the planet with the casino on it.
Yeah.
So weird.
Kind of the prissy lot of.
I don't know how necessary that. Yeah.
It was quite interesting to not see that kind of paid off because it's like the code breaker and stuff. You thought they'd managed to get back into it and stuff, and then he's just not asked because he's like, no, I'm doing this. And then
He'll probably come back actually in the next one. I reckon.
I'd like to kind of see him.
I like
have
Del
a
Toro.
bigger role, and Del Toro as well.
Mies.
Yeah, Miz. Is it Miz? No, it's not Miz. What's her name? Maz. Maz came back in a small little cameo. That was
Solid
nice.
8 seconds.
Yeah, the the alien woman.
We told them
Oh,
to use a
okay.
code breaker.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, don't know what she was doing. I want to find out what she was doing there. That was fun. And there was another planet as well. Also, just exploring the island
Yeah.
that Luke was on. I quite just going back to that brute force of using the lightsaber of cutting stuff. One joke that particularly landed with me, when she sliced straight through the rock, and it just like takes out one of the
Trolleys that there's island slaves.
Yeah.
and they just the way they look up like, huh? And she's like, she doesn't even say sorry. But yeah,
Well.
bad
Okay.
bits. You just
I
want to
feel
go
like-
straight
I
into
feel
the
like I've
5-star.
done that. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go straight there. I don't want to go into it.
I'm
too
going to
much.
spin around. Okay. So this is the 5-star movie review. I'll do that again. I'll turn it around.
Alright.
Here we go.
He's got it again.
Here we go. This is the 5-star movie review where we take a film through 5 questions.
Yep.
Every time we vote yes for the majority of that question, it gets a star. The aim is to get 5 stars. The highest we've had is 4. The lowest we've had is 1.
Do you remember what they were?
Yeah. The lowest ones are Jigsaw, Kidnap.
Oh god.
What else was it? Justice League as well. They all got 1 stars. I can't remember if there was another one. There was a 2.5 star of The Shining, and there was a 4 star of Child's Play and Forrest Gump.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And I'm pretty sure, even though no one knows what it will be or like what we said about it, the night before got 3 stars.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah, something like that.
So let's see how
Between
this
1 and 5.
fares up. Right. Does the story make any sense?
I'll give it that it makes overall sense.
It makes sense, but I can't really speak for it because I don't fully know what was going on. I was just sort of like, what is happening?
It was fairly independent from the rest of, like, in terms of the stuff, what was happening within the film. It didn't have much to do with any of the other films, really.
Yeah, it was rebellion being chased by the First Order, people having to hatch a plan to get away from them, and then 2 plot points. Oh! I'll come back to it later on. There was another thing. No, I know what I want to talk about. But yeah, it all comes together at the end, which was quite nice. So yeah, that does get the star. It does make sense. Did the film have a good ending?
How does it end again?
It ends with Luke Skywalker's death, and basically him.
Oh, the kid Jedi, the one in like with the.
Oh, specific. Yeah, that's like the last shot and stuff. But it's the voiceover is basically. I can't remember if it is specifically Luke, but it's saying how the rebellion is now reborn because the spark that lights the fire of the rebellion has now been relit, and there's a new Jedi.
Like the spaceship, didn't they? With like 15 odd people stood there who were the only ones left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like the ending.
You didn't?
No, I was just like, well, you can't suddenly throw these 15 people at me that were going to be the face of the rebellion who I've got no idea who any of them are. Or like, what?
Yeah,
like, this is just a bit weird to grow out of me. And then the Luke, like, disappearing thing, I kind of saw coming a mile off, so I was just like, oh, you're going to do this, aren't you? Just seems a bit.
It weren't the best
I
effects.
liked the fact that he was in a different place and somehow projecting himself there.
That's my point.
That was kind of cool, but why the fuck invent, like, what is going on right now? Jedis have just got unlimited powers and they decide to throw them out.
That is a force power. It's like an astral projection that they use where they can communicate to different parts of the galaxy and stuff. It's been done in.
But why did they invent the teleporting thing then? Why don't they just do that every single time?
The tele.
So do you know they do the whole not teleport? Do you know they did the hologram things? I mean, it's obvious that it uses energy, but it just felt like, well, you can't suddenly just. It felt like a plot cheat almost. Like you can just pull up.
No, it is a genuine power that the Jedi have.
Yeah, I mean, just like it's not clearly there that often because they've always just used the hologram thing when they need to do that. In the past.
No, the hologram. There's a difference with
messages.
Yeah, that's just like a video recording, whereas the astral projection.
But you can do it live because they've done it live to that room.
But it's not a form.
I feel like Dill's just jabbing at you and you're getting so defensive of Star Wars. Like, no.
Oh, no, like, I get it can be in there for like real Star Wars people, but I just meant like to me it just felt like all of a sudden they just pulled out another Jedi, some ultimate power they've got that they somehow hasn't really came up before. Like I can't see why if you could do that, if Jedi could do that, why would they ever leave the house? They could just sit in some chamber and do that all the time.
Because no one's been that powerful before to do it. The only other person that's been recorded in Star Wars lore is Yoda.
He quit on being a Jedi.
Yeah.
That was the whole point of it. So why is he all of a sudden so powerful?
I didn't write the film.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just pointing out shit.
I must admit, I wondered why he was that powerful considering he'd cut himself off. But still, it was a nice
I get that it was good. This is just my opinion. And now I don't know why I'm feeling like going after it.
So it doesn't get that star.
Are you both saying no then?
Yeah.
Not a good ending?
No, I wouldn't say so.
Oh no, you bitches.
It wasn't going to get 5 anyway. Forrest
gonna
Gump's
be
going to be
awkward,
higher than
that.
Star Wars and Matt's going to hate it.
Oh no.
It should be higher than Star Wars.
No, it
Do you
Do you
shouldn't.
think this Star Wars is better than Forrest Gump? Stop the presses. We're going to tip the mic over.
No, I think Forrest Gump is a better film, but I enjoyed this one much more.
Yeah.
I think you would because of you being a massive nerd as well.
Well, yeah. Question number 3. Did you think there were believable characters? I did. I'm trying to get my point in here.
Go on. Talk us.
Mainly just because we were going to do the draft, but I think we all kind of felt that these people were in these roles specifically that it was hard for us to change them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like 1 point for it. But I think they've just kind of come into their roles with this like specific. I know you said like that, and there were some lines that were quite of dialogue that were a bit clunky or a bit kind of forced, but.
Do you know what I think the biggest test is? Is did you buy the whole Kylo Ren Rey like weird relationship bond thing they have?
Yes.
If that made sense to you, then I think the characters are good.
Which Adam Driver's a main character actor as well. Which I really love his character in it, even though he's a knobhead. But
he does a I don't know. I wasn't sure about the whole thing, but I think actually it was alright done at the time. The way of talking to each other. I'm gonna give it believable characters.
Yeah, I like the way they talk to each other. I just don't think I like him.
Do you not like it? I like him because I can kind of, I'm guessing the way he's playing him, what the character's motivation type stuff is, and it's quite an interesting
Yeah.
one because obviously like it's the stepping out of the shoes of his family and the crazy need for power,
Yeah.
and it was like a good turn that Luke was trying to kill him, and he was trying to defend himself, and they could kind of like they messed with story there and how
Yeah,
you can
that
hear
was
if
good.
you get a biased angle, everything changes from each position. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, I think the character did.
Yeah.
Sweet. At least it's got more than 1 star.
Just
did
sticks at 2
Oh,
now.
I'll
You're
let
gonna
it
be
get
so
3.
upset. Yeah.
did the film achieve digestive absorption? Were you absorbed into watching the film? Now we've talked about like situations of this. Like we were all in the cinema to watch this, so we didn't really have any distractions necessarily.
I did. Like, I was really into the film, but I still couldn't ignore that rattling. So I wasn't like how you were, like so immersed in a film where I could ignore the sound behind me. 'Cause the amount of times
Oh no,
turned
I
around,
did
like,
hear that.
fuck.
I was just like,
I also think you
off.
might have been a bit like me where there was moments every say 10, 15 minutes where something happened and you just kind of went like, what?
Yeah.
And I think because of that, or like someone said something, I was just like, what the? So like, I think that's losing the absorption for me, just because the story was good, the pacing was good, but I just think there was a few too many moments where I was like, wait, why? Like, why is Snoke hair with a bunch of like red?
Yeah.
Like, what? There's just a few too many times where I was just like, I'm not a fan of that happening, or I was like, oh, I see where this is going, and I think that kind of I don't know if that eliminates absorption though. If you know what I mean? Because I was bought into the story and I kind of knew what was going on, but there's just a fair few occasions where I was just like,
Yeah.
So does that
Is
within
that
your
half?
definition of digestive absorption?
I guess.
Because I never was like, this is not doing it for me. But I was just like, I'm not liking that moment.
I guess if there are
Maybe
those
I'll give it
moments,
half.
you can give it the half star
I'll
if you
give it
want to
half.
give it the half. I'm gonna say full.
Sorry.
Well, we're just
It's all
crushing
right.
your dreams here.
It's all right. Although
so
just bringing up
right.
that point before about Snoke, what was funny to me is the whole bit that it was red
Yeah.
and then it burnt, so the whole thing just kind of burnt down.
Yeah.
Just the idea that Snoke was like, you know what, I've got this massive glass room. Let's put some red curtains up. Let's just make it ominous in there.
I know it seems like I'm fixating on the snow thing as well, but it's just because I can't really remember any of the other specific occasions. But there was other little things that just seemed odd to me and kind of threw me out of it.
Yeah. I think there was quite a bit of stuff with Rose, I think, that threw me out. I wanted to like that character and I just
wanted
didn't.
to like her as well. I just thought, like, I see where you're trying to go with this, and I can see how she can be like a nice character, but
Yeah.
just was set up a bit weird. I don't really know. I give it half.
Yeah.
You giving it the half?
Well, yeah, because not the entire way through the film was I like, oh, what's going on here?
All right, fair enough. I mean, it's got the same rating as The Shining.
What's it on now?
2.5.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah.
Lastly,
Oh, no.
I thought we had 2 more.
no, just
I
one.
thought we had 2 more as well.
No.
Oh.
Did the story make sense? Did the film have a good ending? Did you
Absorption.
believable characters?
Believable characters. Yeah. We know that.
Okay, right.
Did the movie change you as a person?
Oh dear, it's got the same rating.
No.
No, 100%
To be fair,
not.
if someone said you rated that Star Wars the same as The Shining, I'm pretty sure not many people would see that as an insult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could say that at least, rather than saying 2.5 stars, you could tell people we gave it the same rating as The Shining.
Did
yeah,
it
no,
change your life?
it didn't change my life. No.
I like your pose.
Thank you. It's called The Thinker. But yeah, no, it was just a really fun time for me. It was nice being all nostalgic. There was some really awesome moments. There were some interesting new moments. There was nice new themes to kind of delve into. I just had a fantastic time.
You did, didn't you?
I did.
Good.
I
I'm
did.
glad you did.
Yeah. You not so much.
No, I enjoyed it, just nowhere near how you did. But yours is from like a child watching it. And I was just like, who the fuck is this? To
What
most
is it?
characters. So,
Alright. Dill?
final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
It was alright. I like the director a lot, so I was really hoping to really like it.
Hmm.
I thought it was kind of good for what they're trying to do.
I thought
It
it
was
was.
just a little, I don't know, little things that kind of took me out of it. I think that was mostly, or like a few things where I guess where I was coming, which I don't
Yeah.
like it when I really can do that.
Yeah. I was gonna say it was really interesting for like someone as big as Disney and Lucasfilm to just kind of went, yeah, you do it,
Yeah.
do it how you think you want to do it, and it was just like, all right, okay, because usually especially for franchise films, stuff like that as well, there's a specific aim they want to kind of go down, not really taking someone's specific vision,
Yeah.
which I really appreciated, and that's why I kind of like the fact that it's something that's quite different and new.
Cool.
But yeah, that was Star Wars for you.
Consider it a review.
So, for the next couple of weeks, we didn't do it previously, so To the Bone would be the next film, right?
Oh yeah, I can't remember if I kept that clip into
It's
a
okay,
thing.
you can tell
But
me
yeah,
what.
basically, a couple of weeks ago, after we decided we were going to do a Christmas film podcast, and then that fucked up. And then, yeah, we said we're going to do Star Wars after that because we wanted to talk about the film that had just come out. We said we'd go back to the bucket, and the one that we picked out a couple of weeks ago was To the Bone. Alright.
Right.
Shall I end the show here then?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because we're about to go on our Christmas do.
Yes.
Guys,
yes,
high
yes,
five.
Yes, yes.
Hang on.
Look.
Three.
Look away.
Yeah, I'm looking in the middle. 3, 2,
One.
1.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Absolutely
I
nailed
tried
it.
Matt's trick of staring at the mic. It worked.
Yeah, it's the middle part,
Yeah,
so
it
you know
does.
where to go.
You've got your peripherals.
You-
That's why he does it. He's
exactly.
watching us both.
I am right now. That's why I stare at the mic, so I can look at you both.
Oh, I don't
Oh.
know.
No, I don't.
Right.
But yeah, thank you very much for listening. If you've got this far, we do appreciate it and congratulate you.
Oh,
If you, huh?
You said listening. But carry on.
Code word, by the way.
Oh yeah, and the code word.
Oh yeah, there's a code word.
Why are we doing this? I don't remember.
Yeah,
I know.
We might need to drop the code word thing for the time being.
Type into the comments, may the 4th be with you, and you'll get a free t-shirt, even though we don't have t-shirts. I'll get you a t-shirt. Yeah?
If you want.
Tell you what, if someone
You're
does,
playing.
I will. Yeah, alright. I'll put my very own custom design on it. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Where can they find us?
we can find us, anyone can find us on the YouTube channel where this is posted, as well as SoundCloud. So go on to YouTube, SoundCloud. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even though we don't really post anymore. Do we, Sophie?
That'll
Sophie.
pick up. We'll pick
2018's a new year. You'll see a lot more of us behind the
Boom!
scenes.
Also, we're about to go global.
up. Are we?
Yeah.
Also Patreon.
Also Patreon. This guy is on it. Also, we have a tripod.com.
What is Dill on? I don't understand.
LSD. I don't know. My name's Matt Lidster. To my left has been.
Adele.
To my right has been.
Sophie.
And we are Tripod Talk. We are What Pictures. And we will see you next week.
Roll of 3. Nice.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Merry Christmas for when this comes out.
Oh yeah, Merry Christmas, bitches. Don't get too drunk over the holidays. Don't drink and drive.
Don't
And
drink and
Christmas.
And Christmas. That's it.
Right.
Bye. Eat turkey.
Bye.